Hi, I'm Joseph Abrams.
I'm David Acevedo.
And I'm Tom Korsgaard. This is Lab 6, Polarization 2, Retardation Plates. The objective of this lab is to examine the properties of wave plates, retarding wave plates, and to use them to create circularly and elliptically polarized light.
Hi, in this experiment we're using wave plates. Here is an example of two of our wave plates. You can see this one right here is the quarter wave plate and this one is the half wave plate. Now what wave plates do is instead of polarizing in one direction, the structure of the polarizer is such that in different directions the wave is polarized in different directions. So if a wave goes in, let's say diagonally relative to the polarizer, it will actually be split into its components. And those components will travel at different speeds, and that will create what is circular polarization. The combination of different circular polarizers can create what's called elliptical polarization.
The setup of this experiment is as follows. We have our laser shining through a spatial filter, which makes the beam coherent. Then we've added a Polaroid polarizer to the setup because the beam is supposed to be linearly polarized, but we found out it wasn't, so we added a polarizer. Then it goes through a lens to our wave plates. The wave plates split the beam into its various components, which then recombine into differently polarized light, depending on which wave plate. And then the beam then passes through another polarizer, or an analyzer, which we will use to analyze the various waveplate components.
For the first part of our procedure, we will shine our linearly polarized light through this analyzer. We will then turn the analyzer until we achieve extinction. Then we will move our half wavelength plate and shine the laser through it. We will then turn the analyzer in increments of 15 degrees, and what we will find when we compare the intensities is that when we turn it by angle theta, the plane of polarization will turn by an angle of 2 theta.
The next part of this experiment makes use of the quarter wavelength wave plate. When you pass light through it, the light is split into two components, which are a quarter wavelength phase apart. The result is circularly polarized light. And when he passes through the analyzer, this allows more or less of one component or the other to pass through, and the result is elliptically polarized light, except at the angle where they are equally allowed to pass through, which is 45 degrees, and then you will result in circularly polarized light again. To show this effect, we will pass through all the various combinations of a polarizer and a wave plate. So we will start by rotating the quarter wave plate in by 15 degrees, and then rotate the analyzer in 30-degree increments all the way around, and then we will turn the wave plate by another 15 degrees and rotate the analyzer 360 degrees around in 30-degree increments, taking data at every point. And then we'll continue to do this through 90 degrees around the wave plate.
Hi, in the third part of this experiment, we will be using an unknown polarizer in conjunction with our circular polarizer. So we place the unknown in the path, and then we will rotate the unknown by 15 degrees, and then we will use the analyzer and our known circular polarizer, and we will rotate them until they annihilate. Now, by using the relative difference between the two of these, we will be able to calculate the eccentricity of the ellipse that is generated by our elliptical polarizer, and that will allow us to figure out what the system circular polarization is.